Well, a very early good morning to you all. It's the first time I've gotten up early for a while. I'm a bit of a lazy photographer. Oh dear. Oh. The funny thing is, it's such a beautiful time of the day. There's no one around. The light, well, the sun hasn't come up yet, so I'm hoping that we'll have some nice light. As far as location goes, I'm down at a place called Rathrevor Beach, which is just a 10-minute, 5-minute walk from our drive from where I live. It's very popular with holiday goers. There's a massive campground here that's probably one of the most popular campgrounds in Canada. But this area here, I've never really photographed this area. What I like about it is all these pools of water that kind of reflect the sky. Now, unfortunately, we don't have that many clouds, so I don't know how great these shots are going to be. I love the layers, though, the layers of these pools of water. And of course, when the tide's low like this, you can walk out for about 1 kilometer here. It's very pretty. But if there were some clouds up, I mean, there's a few wispy clouds, but nothing major. If you had some really nice clouds up here, then that might pull off a better photograph. It would also be really nice if you could get a little bit higher. So I think maybe if I come here again, I might bring the drone. And you know, you just need to be maybe 15-20 feet above the sand here. But there's a couple of nice little compositions here, so I'm going to look around, see what I can find, and maybe we'll come up with something. Oh, that would have been nice if I was a bit quicker on the ball. Get the reflection of the geese as they fly over this minimalist area here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera there, probably not, but way out in the distance there's a couple of people right out at tide line there. So it goes out quite a ways. This is creating quite pretty here. There's some nice tones in here with the pinks. So what I'm going to do here is I'm getting some reflections of these wispy clouds. There's another little island here. I don't know if that was made by kids in the sand or if it's just natural. I think it's probably made by kids. But it kind of acts as a bit of a place to rest your eye. And then I'm just including the island out there. It's pretty minimalist. There's not an awful lot of color, so I don't know if it's gonna work or not. But we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. Ah, look at that. Sun just coming up over the horizon there. So I had to rush back by my pack and slap on a 1-200. And we're just getting a sliver of the sun there. It's really quite pretty. I don't think I've got enough depth of field here. Let's okay, I'm going to take one of the sun coming up, and then I'm going to focus stack this one, I think. I had to run over here quite quickly because that was looking a bit empty there, so I wanted to get a bit of water in the foreground here with the sun behind it there. That's quite pretty. All right, and you know, don't forget to take verticals. Uh-oh, we're going to lose the sun behind that cloud. Oh, those layers are just beautiful. Well, okay, we'll focus stack this one as well. So I've focused on the foreground. Ah, we lost the sun. So I got a couple of shots of the sun just peeking out from behind the cloud there. Ah, well. I mean, to be honest, the last couple of weeks, I've been having a little bit of a hard time getting motivated. And I seem to cover this theme every year. It's usually about this time of year. I don't know if it's the weather or just, I'm not sure. It's been very hot and sunny, so it's, you know, when it's like this, you do get some nice light in the morning and the evening, but it's very, it doesn't last very long. So it doesn't give me a lot of time to look around for compositions. I'm sure many of you have faced the same situation. I like it when I can just kind of relax and wander around and find little compositions, so I'm not running around. And you know, the thing is with this type of photography, you can't really stake out a composition and then come back later, because you know, it's driven by tide. So regardless, it is a nice little area. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, we even got a great blue heron in there. It's not great with a 2-second timer though. Oh, that sun is amazing. That's the problem, as soon as it comes up, you don't have a lot of time. It's already getting, it's gonna be overexposed, I think. Let's see, still pretty good. And then don't forget to take some wider shots as well, because you can always crop them. I'm always telling my friend Brian Barnum, he's always complaining that he crops too tight. And I said, well, just don't crop so tight. It's easier said than done though, because a lot of times you're out there and you want to compose it just as you envision it, the scene. And it wasn't until I started working for editorial magazines that you know, a lot of the editors would say, oh, it's a great photograph, too bad you cropped it too tight. Because, you know, a lot of times they want to put text next to, say, the main subject or above the subject. So, and a lot of times you would back way off or zoom out and it just wouldn't look right, but you had to kind of refrain yourself from cropping in too tight. So even now, you may have noticed that a lot of my images I crop, some of them quite drastically, and some of them not so much. And that's just because I want to give myself a little bit of room to be able to do that for various, you know, you can change the composition or the format, all kinds of things. All right, I was just about to give up for the morning because the light's getting just a little bit harsh, and I'm feeling a little bit dejected. To be honest, I'm trying to get my mojo back, and I find one of the ways to do that is to try and do something a little bit different than what you usually do. I think, well, I do anyway, we get into this this kind of funk where we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it's nice to change things up a little bit now and then. So I noticed that on my camera, and I had this on my Nikon camera as well, you could do multiple exposures, and I've never actually used the feature. So what I've decided to do is use multiple exposure, but I'm going to try and simulate what's called the Orton Effect. Now, many of you have probably heard of it. Michael Orton is, he actually lives in Nanaimo, and many years ago he kind of invented or reinvented this this technique in photography where you would take one image, primarily on slide film back then, one image that was blurry and one image that was sharp, of exactly the same composition, and then when you got the transparencies developed, and then you'd take one of them out and you'd sandwich it with the other one, and it creates this ethereal effect. And photographers are still using it now, except they're doing it mostly digitally in a computer. And if you look on YouTube, there's lots of videos about how you can do that. And I've used it quite a bit in the past, but not so much lately. I find it's one of those things that it was a bit of a trend for a while, but I've kind of backed off with the Orton Effect. But I'm going to try it in camera, so I can do multiple exposures. So what I'm going to do, I've got this composition here of these flowers here, or these plants. I'm going to take one image that's sharp, and then another exposure on exactly the same frame that's blurry, and see what kind of effect I can get out of it. It's an experiment. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but for something that's colorful or has a lot of texture in it, it might work really well because it really smooth it out and it'll kind of give it an ethereal look. So let's see how this turns out. Well, I can definitely see some potential with this technique. I'm not sure if I'm getting it today. Not with this subject matter anyway. I think if you had some autumn color or maybe some flowering plants, that might work really well. But what I'm getting right now, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's definitely worth checking out. Let me know in the comments down below if any of you have ever tried using the multiple exposure on your camera. I know not all cameras have it. My Nikon definitely did, and this one does, but I don't know about the Sonys and the Canons. But yeah, it's worth experimenting with and trying it out. You never know, it might get those creative juices flowing. Right, folks, well, thank you ever so much for following along this week. I must admit I am struggling a little bit, but you know, the only way to get through these photographic slumps is to just get out there and just start experimenting and start taking photographs, and usually that's enough to get you going again. While I have your attention, I have put a newsletter out and I put it on my community page, but right now I'm having a huge print sale. You can purchase 11 by 14 print for $45 US, and that includes shipping worldwide. So go check it out. It really helps support my channel and supports me doing this this photography and coming out here and giving tips and so on. I also have my hats. These hats have actually sold out, but I'm getting a new batch coming in any day now. And my books, obviously, Quiet Light, still have a number of copies of Quiet Light and Antarctica. And actually, if you purchase a print and a book, then it ends up being a pretty good deal. All right, folks, thanks ever so much for following along again, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.